the constant demands of clients, marketing, admin, sales, customer success, onboarding. It's a recipe for burnout. The good news, overwhelm isn't inevitable, it's actually manageable. Welcome to the Growth Beyond Hustle podcast.
Today, we are talking about something that can completely transform your business. Welcome to the Growth Beyond Hustle podcast. Today, we're diving into how to overcome overwhelm, strategies to stay calm and focused. I'm Adrian Lee, your host, and I'm here with my co-host, Kristian Livolsi. Welcome, Kristian. Great to have you here. Are you feeling overwhelmed by the endless to-dos? In this episode of Growth Beyond Hustle, we share practical strategies to stay calm and focused, including prioritization tips, mindset shifts, and the power of delegation. Learn how to reclaim your time and take back control of your workload today. So, Kristian, how are you, my man?
Mate, I'm pretty good, Adrian. I'm pretty good. It's good to see you. Those eyebrows, they're looking perfectly manicured as always, brother. I've got eyebrow envy, as you know.
Yes.
But do you get overwhelmed having to maintain them?
I actually don't. Whenever I shave my head, I just give them a quick clipper and they're good to go.
Hey, on a serious note, what number do you use on the clipper?
1.5.
1.5.
One and a half.
I reckon I
Yep.
could start doing that.
Yeah, 1.5 on these big puppies. No plucking required or waxing. Yep.
You're the envy of every woman. You know,
I know.
they got to get. Most women have to get them tattooed to make them look that
Well,
good.
the eyelashes are just as long.
Yeah, and how does Elle feel that you have these remarkable, eyelashes and eyebrows?
Well, obviously she's very jealous, but happens to the best of us.
That's it. Well, we better dive into it. Otherwise, people think that we're some kind of
But
beauty show.
let's
We're
all just
definitely
pick
no
on.
beauty pageant here.
I don't mind picking on my eyebrows. Anyway, Kristian, one of the biggest struggles coaches and consultants face is overwhelm, feeling like there's too much to do and not enough time. Why do you think this is such a common challenge?
Look, Adrian, I think it's because we're wired to believe that we do that we sorry, not that we do that we need to do everything ourselves in order to succeed. Okay, and to that, the constant demands of clients, marketing, admin, sales, customer success, onboarding. It's a recipe for burnout. The good news, overwhelm isn't inevitable. It's actually manageable.
Mate, let's break it down. It's a very interesting topic. It's quite often talked about. What do you see as the root causes of overwhelm for coaches and consultants?
It's usually a combination of, in my experience, a combination of three things.
Hmm.
One, a lack of prioritization, and I'll go into that in a second.
Yep.
Two, poor boundaries, and three, inefficient systems. So, in terms of lack of prioritization, when you're trying to do everything instead of focusing on what truly matters, that's when you stop prioritizing correctly. A lot of people don't even wake up and have a to-do list. They just tackle the day. They don't even have a diary, right? And so, and they'll complain that they're so overwhelmed they don't have time for those things. Well, that's the whole point of the growth beyond hustle. We've got systems and process. So then I want to just bounce to inefficient systems, wasting time on those repetitive tasks or disorganization will continue to keep you stuck. And that's another part that people have. And the reason why they then are stuck there is because of the poor boundaries, right? People love to say yes to everything and to too many things. And, if it's clients, they'll, you want to say yes to your clients. They come and ask you a question. Yes. They send you a WhatsApp message and you're responding and you've been completely fucking disrupted all day long until you set those boundaries, right? And there are really cool tactical and easy ways in order to do that as you scale.
Interesting. Have you personally struggled with overwhelm, Kristian? How did you navigate through it if you did?
Absolutely, man.
Uh-huh.
There was a time, there have been several times that I felt like I was drowning in all the responsibilities, running, multiple businesses, managing teams, and trying to have a personal life. I mean, I've had 80 ventures. I've had 1,399 clients. We signed another two yesterday, so we're on the verge of cracking that 1,400. But what helped me most, Adrian, was actually stepping back, getting really clear on my priorities, and delegating. Right? People have most coaches and consultants suck at delegation, right? They're so used to doing the doing. And the moment that I accepted that I couldn't do it all, I felt a huge weight, man, a huge weight lifted.
Yeah, dude. So for our listeners who are in that overwhelmed state right now, what are some actionable strategies they can start using today to regain that clarity?
Listen to all of our podcasts. That will start changing your mindset around it.
Sure.
No, seriously, the first one is, write everything down, brain dump, get it out of your head, get it onto paper so that you can see what's really important. Think on paper. I remember listening to Brian Tracy, right? Like Brian Tracy, man, the dude looks younger today than he did, 30 years ago when I first listened to one of his audio tapes. And he said, think on paper. All the people that I ever met that were successful always had a diary. You've seen me. I walk around with a Moleskine diary and my Mont Blanc pen, and then I walk around with my iPad as well, and I'm writing notes in both of those. Now, I've progressed from the Moleskine diary and paper to the iPad because I was keeping notes in both, and then that I'm a prolific note taker on my notes on my Mac as well. So I've kind of been like going, okay, fuck it, I've got to stop doing three and start putting them into one area. And now I use tabs and I can categorize everything, which is freaking awesome, right? I mean, that's the first thing. So think on paper, think in iPad, think on notes, wherever you feel comfortable, but do it in the one place. Then you got to use the 3Ds, okay? The 3Ds are really simple. Decide what to do, right? Decide what to delegate and decide what to bang, delete, right? So many people, when I do this exercise with clients when they come in and I see that they're completely fucking overwhelmed, I'm like, hey guys, seriously, why don't we start with a really simple exercise? Let's break down, right, the 3Ds. And they look at me and they're like, the what? The 3Ds, the 3Cs, the 4Cs, the 3D. You can call it whatever the hell you want, but it's do, delegate, and delete. And you can delete. Detonate is the other word I use all the time. It's like, blow it up, man. Like, detonate it. You don't have to do that, right? It doesn't even have to be done by someone else. Like, you've just got a shit thing that's consuming the back of your mind, and you're not going forward. So the third thing that you need to do is time block, right? I love time blocking. You know that. How many times have I sat down with you, bro, and in your business and gone, hey, Adrian, we need time block, right? Most people that see my diary freak out because it is color-coded, it is tagged. I know exactly how many consulting hours I'm doing per week, how much money I'm making. I then can cross-check that against my finance records to make sure that our full-time bookkeeper and our finance manager are actually distributing that. I know exactly how much time I'm hanging out with my kids. I have a budget, man. My calendar's like a budget. So you got to schedule your day with specific blocks for focus work, meetings, and breaks. And what you do is you start with your non-negotiable tasks first.
Kristian,
yeah.
One word you said there that I've never heard anyone say it like that before. And it is budget.
Yeah. I use my calendar like a budget. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right. I'm probably the only person that actually says that, but I look at it like a budget because your calendar is where your money is, right? And if you fill it with bullshit tasks and crap, or you don't put anything in there, then what are you doing? You're just screwing around. Like, I'll give you another example. My kids, Lucy's had a hip replacement, so we've been coping with that for the last 6 weeks, all the way through the school holidays. And I've had a very full load through that time. And, they've needed school uniforms. These little things are growing into big things, just like yours are, right? And I've got no time. I had no time. And lucky that my trainer messages me, go, dude, I'm having a mental day off. And I'm like, what do you mean a fucking mental day off? And he goes, I'm just taking a mental day off. I'm too exhausted. I'm like, yeah, awesome. I found a gap in my diary. I rang my wife. I said, I'm coming to pick you guys up. I'm going to be there in the next 15 minutes. And bang, we went to 2 schools, did everything we need to do, dropped them back off. Hour was done. I was back in the office and kabam, back into my diary, right? I've shot 6 videos already. And then now we're shooting, the podcast. And then I've got 3 podcasts I'm shooting this afternoon. So it's always mapped out and planned. And number four, right, is pause and breathe. So sometimes stepping away for 5 minutes to breathe and reset your focus is really, really important. I have 5-minute focus blocks in between appointments. So I walk out and I go for a walk in the building. I might make myself a cup of tea right here. And I'll get some water in me. You're a big believer in pause and breathe. You go for 30-kilometer walks and you do them in like 2 minutes. That's why you look like that and I look like this. But that's it, dude. That's pretty much the 4 things. So one, think on paper, dump it down. The 3 Ds, do, delegate, delete. Time blocking, right? And then remember to pause and breathe in order to reset your brain.
Dude, I love that. The pause and breathe. Taking that 5 minutes to go and just move on to the next task. Exactly. How important is it to have systems and support in place when managing the overwhelm?
Bro, it's critical, man. Systems streamline your work so you don't have to think about every little detail, right? Like, so support, whether it's a virtual assistant, a team member, or even a coach, helps you focus on what you do best while letting others handle the rest. Hey, that kind of rhymes, right? But I think it's really important. Like, I've got coaches. I got 2 coaches, right? One in the US, one here, because I want different perspectives. One's in sales and marketing, one's in systems and models. And I've got virtual assistants, I've got team members, and it's about knowing when to bring them on at the right time. We've got a delegation ladder. If anyone wants it, just drop delegation in the comments, and we'll shoot it to you. It's a 1-pager. It's really simple, and it shows you the steps of how you should actually delegate roles out to people and when it's time to let them go. And we also have a task audit, a review document. So if anyone wants to save 4 to 10 hours a month, drop task audit in the comments, and we'll flick you that as well, right? That's it, dude. There. So it's absolutely imperative.
You know what's really interesting is what we're really covering here is a lot about mindset and how important that is around how it plays a role, a very big role here. And to be honest with you, I like to look at the mindset as like 80-20 of business, right? It's like 80% mindset and like the 20% of the doing and all the other stuff. But what shifts can people make to approach their workload with less stress, man?
Yeah, it's funny. I said I shot some videos before this, and that's exactly what I was talking about is mindsets. As you know, we today will have just launched a new program called the Aligned State, which is all about mindset, energy, and meditation, right? Because I'm a big believer. I've written the Business Growth Mindset book that was number 94 all time, on the bestsellers list around the world in all books. Mindset is everything, right? It is the difference between winning and losing. It's either the victim mentality or the victim. But in relation to the few mindset shifts that people need to do in order to overcome the overwhelm, one is progress over perfection. Okay, progress over perfection. What you got to do is you got to focus on getting things done, not getting them perfect. So many people fuck around and wait until it's perfect, and by that stage, it's gone. Right? Everyone should learn things from innovators like Steve Jobs and Elon Musk. Elon had to launch 4 Falcon ones in order to actually get one that went up there and almost sent him and Tesla bankrupt. Right? So you got to fail. You got to fail often. You got to fail quickly, and the way to do that is progress over perfection, and that's a mindset, right? So many people are fucking stuck in the world of perfectionism, and guess where they end up being stuck? In perfectionism, going fucking nowhere, right? I get really passionate about this. You know that. The second thing that I would highly recommend, the mind shift that people need to do, is control what you can. Let go of things outside your control. Stop living in a world that you are not in control of. Right? And stop trying to control everything, right? Like, you can't control other people, right? What you can do is you can help them transform. You can help them understand your vision. You can help them understand the path that you want to lead, and you can help lead them toward it. But if they don't have the right attitude, they're just going to deviate you all the time, right? And the real other thing is ask for help. Man, so many people that I see that are in coaching programs of other people, they sit there in silence and they go watch the fucking replays. Turn up to the lives, participate, right?
Mm.
Be vulnerable. Get uncomfortable with, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. There's no
Yeah.
shame in admitting that you need support. It's a strength, not a weakness.
Yeah, dude. I think I'm a big fan of all those three things, but definitely like the progress over perfection. I've seen that a lot with many coaches and consultants over the years. And just letting go of those things outside of your control. Control what you can, manage everything else.
Yeah,
And it just
absolutely, man.
allows you to have, just to be like less stressed, have more focus on the few things that you can control, that really help you move forward. So,
I
dude,
100%
this
agree with you,
this
Adrian.
this has been a great conversation. We could literally go on for hours about this. But mate, any final thoughts for our listeners about overcoming overwhelm?
Look, overwhelm is often a signal that you care, okay, and care deeply about what you're doing. All right.
Hmm.
Do you see how I'm reframing that, right? But it doesn't have to control you. All right. By focusing on what matters most and building the systems and leaning on the support, you can stay calm, you can stay clear, and you can stay in control. Right. And I think that that's really, really important. And so you just need to know how to get there. And so many people don't know how to get there. If you don't know how to get there, hit us up. We'll guide you in the right direction with people we know or within our own programs and whatever else that we've got available. But more importantly, take the next step.
Boom, take the next step. And if you're feeling overwhelmed and need actionable strategies to stay focused, subscribe to the Growth Beyond Hustle for more insights. And if you need help freeing up your time, check out our virtual assistant solutions at Growth Outsourced. Kristian, until next time, my man, grow beyond hustle.
Love it, brother. Have a great day.
Cheers, buddy.
That's a wrap on this episode of Growth Beyond Hustle. We hope you got some real value out of today's conversation on protecting your time and energy. And remember, saying no isn't about shutting doors, it's about making space for the right opportunities. The more you set boundaries, the more you find yourself focused, productive, and in control of your business. If you enjoyed this episode, do us a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you never miss another episode. If you're ready to free up your time, stop wearing all the hats, check out Growth Outsourced, our trained virtual assistants, and take those repetitive tasks off your plate so you can focus on what truly matters.